The person you cannot stop thinking about truly does care for you. Even if everything between you feels unclear, mixed, or difficult to understand right now, there is a deeper reason this person keeps returning to your thoughts again and again. It is not accidental or random. It is not happening just because you are bored, lonely, or feeling emotionally weak at the moment. Something meaningful is keeping this connection alive, deep inside your inner world and daily feelings. This person appears in your mind for a clear reason, even when you make no effort to think about them. They come to you during quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades away and your mind finally relaxes. They show up in the small pauses between your usual thoughts, in those seconds just before sleep when your guard is completely down. Sometimes they appear without any warning, in the middle of an ordinary day, while you go about normal activities. You could be busy with work, talking to someone, laughing with friends, or feeling calm, and suddenly their face appears in your mind without invitation. Their voice, their smile, or a special memory connected to them rises inside you without any force or trying. It happens naturally and smoothly on its own. You may have tried many times to push these thoughts away from your focus. You may have told yourself firmly that it is time to move forward and that thinking about them no longer serves any good purpose in your life. You may have reminded yourself again and again of the confusion, the distance, or the long silence that exists between you both. At times, you may have questioned your own thoughts very seriously. You may have wondered if you are imagining something that is not truly real, or holding on to hope without any solid reason behind it. You may have asked yourself why they still matter so much when nothing seems clear or settled between you. Yet, no matter how hard you try to distract yourself with other things, they continue to return to your mind steadily. Even when you tell yourself you are completely done with it all, even when you feel strong for a while, they remain quietly present inside you. This is not a coincidence, and it is not a sign that something is wrong with you at all. It does not mean you are stuck, desperate, or unable to let go of the past. It means there is a bond that has not been fully resolved yet in your shared story. It means something emotional still exists between you, whether it has been spoken out loud or not in clear words. Connections like this are not created by simple logic or careful planning alone. They are not controlled by willpower, no matter how strong it feels. They are formed at a deeper level, where emotion, memory, and real meaning come together over time. When someone continues to appear in your thoughts without any effort from you, it often means that there is unfinished emotional energy still present between you both. Something was felt deeply, even if it was never fully expressed in words or actions. Something was shared between you, even if it was never clearly defined or labeled properly. This person may be thinking of you as well, even if they do not reach out or speak openly about their feelings right now. Thoughts do not always travel in spoken words or messages. Feelings do not always show themselves through direct action or clear steps. Sometimes, people carry emotions silently inside because they feel unsure of what to do with them at this time. They may feel overwhelmed, afraid, or uncertain about the future. They may not know exactly how to act on what they feel, so they keep it inside for now. But just because they stay quiet does not mean they are empty of care or emotion toward you. You may sense them at unexpected times during your day or night. You may feel a sudden wave of emotion like warmth, sadness, or longing without knowing exactly why it arrives. You may feel connected to them even when there is physical or emotional distance separating you both. This is not just imagination playing tricks on your mind. Strong emotional connections often work beneath the surface in ways that are hard to see clearly. They do not always follow clear rules or expected timelines in life. They exist quietly while influencing your thoughts and feelings in ways that are difficult to explain fully. You are not weak for feeling this way at all, because you are simply human in every sense. Caring deeply does not disappear just because you decide with your mind that it should end. The heart does not move on simply because the mind tells it to do so right away. When something meaningful has touched you, it leaves a lasting mark inside. And that mark remains until it has been fully understood, healed, or gently transformed over time. This connection does not mean you should wait endlessly or ignore your own needs and growth. It simply means that what you felt between you was very real and important. It means the bond truly mattered in your life story. Confusion does not cancel out love or erase its presence. Silence does not erase the emotion that still lives on. Distance does not always mean there is a complete absence of feeling on their side. Sometimes it means there is fear, uncertainty, or inner struggle happening on the other side of this connection. You may never receive clear answers from them, or one day you might suddenly get them. But regardless of what happens next, your own experience remains completely valid and true. The thoughts you have are not random or pointless. The emotions you feel are not meaningless at all. They are part of a story that touched you deeply and changed something inside. If this person continues to live in your thoughts, it is because something between you has not fully closed yet. That does not mean it must continue forever in the same way. It simply means it mattered a great deal. And things that matter always take time to settle peacefully in the heart. Be gentle with yourself during this period. Do not judge your thoughts harshly or rush your feelings to end quickly. Understanding often comes slowly and naturally with patience. And sometimes the purpose of a connection is not to last forever, but to change you, to teach you important lessons, and to remind you of your ability to feel deeply. Even in confusion and even in silence, that connection still holds real meaning for both sides. When someone occupies your thoughts this deeply and consistently over time, it usually means the emotional cord between you and them is still alive and active, even if you no longer speak regularly, even if circumstances pulled you apart, and even if silence has lasted much longer than either of you expected. Your mind is not simply clinging to the past without reason. Your heart is responding to something that feels unfinished between you. There is something between you that never reached a clear ending or resolution. Human beings are not disturbed by what is complete and settled. We are disturbed by what is left open, unclear, and emotionally unresolved in our lives. You may notice that you think of them when something good happens in your life, and you want to share the joy. When you experience a small victory, a funny moment, or something beautiful, they come to mind as the person you want to tell right away. You imagine sharing small details of your day with them because those things seem unimportant on the surface, but feel meaningful to you inside. You wonder how they are feeling even when your own life is full and busy with many activities. Sometimes you feel a strange pull, not just toward their physical presence, but toward their energy, their emotional world, and their inner state. This kind of pull happens when two people are emotionally tuned to the same frequency, even across distance and silence. What most people do not realize is that emotional bonds do not disappear just because communication stops suddenly. Silence does not erase connection or shared feelings. Distance does not cancel emotional attachment that was built over time. When two people connect at a deep level, that bond leaves an imprint on the unconscious mind. The unconscious does not operate on simple logic or strict time limits. It operates on meaning, emotion, and unfinished business that needs attention. If you are still thinking about them, it is because some part of you knows that the story is not fully written yet. This also explains why the connection feels complicated and hard to understand sometimes. Love that is simple usually settles into clarity without much struggle. Love that feels distant, confusing, or delayed often exists in the space between fear and desire. One or both of you may be afraid of vulnerability, afraid of change, afraid of repeating old pain, or afraid of wanting something that feels uncertain or difficult right now. Fear does not erase love completely. It delays it for some time. It hides it temporarily and creates distance where closeness is desired but feels risky. You may wonder why, if they love you, they have not acted yet or reached out in clear ways. You may wonder why they have stayed quiet for so long without explanation. Love does not always move in a straight line or follow expected paths. Many people feel deeply, but do not know exactly how to act on those strong feelings inside. Some people are emotionally guarded because of past experiences. Some are carrying wounds from earlier relationships that still affect them. Some are stuck between responsibility and desire in their current lives. Some feel unworthy of the love they feel, and some believe they need to fix themselves before they allow closeness again. The mind often returns to what the heart cannot resolve easily. This is why they appear in your thoughts when you are calm, when you are quiet, or when you are emotionally open without distractions. At night, when distractions fall away, the unconscious speaks more clearly than during busy hours. During the day, when your guard is down, the same natural thing happens without force. This is not you forcing the thought into your mind. It arises on its own from deeper places. That is an important detail to remember always. Thoughts that come uninvited often come from deeper emotional layers within you. There is also something else happening beneath the surface when these memories arise. When you think of them, you are not only thinking about who they are as a person, you are also thinking about who you were when you felt connected to them in special ways. Certain people awaken parts of us that stayed dormant with others before. They reflect something back to us that feels familiar, meaningful, or truly alive inside. Losing access to that reflection can feel like losing a part of yourself for a time. This is why the longing feels deeper than simple attraction alone. Distance between two people who care for each other often exists not because love is missing, but because timing, fear, or inner conflict stands in the way for now. You may feel that something is holding both of you back from moving closer. That sense is usually accurate and worth noticing. When emotions remain active without resolution, the psyche keeps the connection alive until it finds understanding or closure. This continuous cycle of memory and thought is your internal world attempting to find peace with what has happened. It is your soul acknowledging that this person mattered too much to be forgotten quickly. Even if you try to fill your days with endless tasks, the moment your energy drops, your thoughts return to them naturally. This persistence shows that the connection is anchored deeply within your emotional core. It is not something you can easily switch off with simple willpower because feelings do not respond to logical commands. They require time, patience, and a willingness to understand the lessons they bring into your life. As you move forward, allow yourself to feel whatever arises without judgment. Understand that missing someone and thinking about them does not mean you are failing to grow. It simply means you are a person who loved sincerely. And that sincerity leaves a permanent echo that takes time to soften into a quiet memory. You might also feel moments of emotional confusion from time to time. One day, you feel strong and detached from it all, and the next day, a small reminder brings everything back strongly. This fluctuation is normal and part of the process. It means your conscious mind is trying to protect you while your emotional mind is still connected underneath. These two parts do not always agree perfectly with each other. Healing does not mean forcing yourself to forget everything completely. It means understanding why the bond exists and what it is asking of you at this stage. Sometimes the connection remains because there is a lesson to be learned from it. Sometimes it remains because communication is not finished between you. And sometimes it remains because both people are slowly growing toward the same emotional truth, even if they are not ready at the same time. Emotional timing is rarely synchronized perfectly in life. If you feel that they love you but remain distant, it is likely because they are fighting an internal struggle of their own. They may feel the same pull you feel toward them. They may think of you more than you know at this time. They may wonder if you still care deeply for them too. But instead of moving closer right away, they hesitate because of many reasons. This hesitation often comes from fear of loss, fear of rejection, or fear of changing their current life situation too quickly. Love does not always announce itself loudly with big gestures. Sometimes it hides behind silence and careful steps. Sometimes it waits behind caution for the right moment. Sometimes it watches quietly, hoping for the perfect time to step forward without risk. The absence of action does not always mean the absence of feeling on their part. What matters most right now is not trying to control the final outcome completely. It is understanding what the connection is showing you about yourself and your own growth. It may be teaching you patience in important ways. It may be teaching you self-worth and inner strength. It may be asking you to stop chasing and start trusting the process more. Or it may be preparing you to receive clarity when the time is right. Whether that clarity comes through reunion or gentle release, you are not foolish for feeling this way. You are not weak for thinking of them so often. You are responding to a bond that exists beyond surface logic and simple explanations. The mind tries to explain it away with reasons, but the heart recognizes it instantly as real. When something truly matters in life, it does not disappear easily or quickly. If they love you and the distance remains for now, then time and inner growth are doing important work behind the scenes in both of you. Connections like this often move slowly because they carry real depth and meaning. Depth requires readiness, and readiness cannot be rushed, no matter how much we want it. For now, allow the thoughts to pass without harsh judgment on yourself. Do not force extra meaning onto them, but do not dismiss them either without thought. Pay attention to how you feel when they appear in your mind, like calm, warmth, sadness, longing, or hope, because all carry useful information. Your emotions are speaking to you clearly in these moments. Remember this important truth, that what is meant for you does not require constant struggle or pain. It may require patience, but it will not demand that you abandon yourself or your needs. Whether this connection evolves into something tangible or slowly fades with time, it is shaping you in ways you cannot yet fully see or understand. And if one day the distance closes naturally, it will be because both of you are finally ready to meet without fear holding you back. Until then, trust that what you are experiencing has real meaning, even if the meaning is not fully clear yet in this moment. When you think about someone again and again, when their presence stays in your mind from morning until night, there is often a quiet connection happening beneath the surface of daily life. Many times, they are thinking about you too, even if they never say it out loud or even fully admit it to themselves. Yes, they love you, even if those words have never been spoken between you. Love does not always appear in obvious ways that everyone can see clearly. It does not always arrive as clear actions, bold moves, or confident decisions right away. Sometimes, love shows itself in silence and patience. Sometimes, it shows itself in waiting for better timing. Sometimes, it shows itself in careful restraint to protect what matters. The person you cannot stop thinking about may feel a very deep love for you indeed. That love may be strong, heavy, and constant inside them. But love does not always mean they are ready to step forward immediately. Readiness and love are not exactly the same thing in every situation. Someone can love you with their whole heart and still feel unable to move closer at this time for personal reasons. They may feel unworthy of you, as if you are too good, too kind, or too complete for them right now. They may be afraid of hurting you because they know how fragile and precious the connection feels to them. They may believe that the timing is wrong, that life is too complicated at the moment, or that circumstances are not aligned properly yet. They may be carrying old wounds that were never fully healed from before. Pain from past relationships, disappointments, betrayals, or losses still lives quietly inside them and affects their choices. They may fear that if they get closer, they could lose you entirely in some way. So instead of moving toward you openly, they pause and hold back. Instead of reaching out, they hesitate with care. Instead of confessing what they feel strongly, they hold it inside to stay safe. This is not because they feel too little toward you. It is because they feel too much, and it overwhelms them. When feelings are shallow, people act without thinking much. When feelings are light, people take risks easily without worry. But when love is real and touches something deep inside, people become careful and thoughtful. Fear begins to whisper questions into their mind and shapes their choices. When love is casual, people move freely without much concern. They text without worry or overthinking. They speak without fear of consequences. They step forward without thinking too much about what could go wrong later. But when love feels meaningful and like it could change everything important, people slow down naturally. They become aware of what is truly at stake in the relationship. They start to think about responsibility, about impact, and about what could go wrong if not handled well. They start to protect not only themselves, but also the other person they care for deeply. Many people wonder why distance can exist even when love is present and strong. This distance is not created by a lack of emotion or care. It is created by an inner struggle happening inside them. On one side of their heart, they feel you strongly and sense your presence, your energy, and your importance to them. On the other side, they feel pressure, fear, responsibility, and doubt pulling in different directions. These two sides pull against each other, creating tension and confusion within. They may ask themselves difficult questions over and over again about the future. They wonder what will happen if they cannot give you what you deserve in life. They worry about disappointing you badly. They question if they might ruin something beautiful between you both. They ask themselves if they are healed enough yet to move forward safely. They fear that their past issues might follow them into this connection and cause new problems. They wonder if getting closer will make things more complicated instead of better for everyone. They fear losing control of their emotions completely, and most of all, they worry about losing you entirely because of their own deep fears. These questions do not come from indifference or lack of care. They come from caring deeply and understanding that love has real weight and consequences. So, they choose distance as a form of protection for now. It is not protection from you personally, but protection from their own overwhelming emotions. They step back, not because they do not want you, but because they are overwhelmed by how much they truly want you in their life. Sometimes, distance is the only way they know how to manage feelings that feel too big to handle easily. They may not have learned how to love safely without fear taking over. They may not trust themselves fully with something that matters so much to them. They may believe that staying quiet is safer than speaking and risking everything important. Silence can feel easier than showing vulnerability openly. Distance can feel safer than full closeness when emotions run high. This kind of love is confusing for the one who waits patiently on the other side. It can make you question yourself and your own feelings at times. It can make you wonder if the connection is real or only imagined in your mind. But real love does not always show itself in perfect and easy ways that everyone expects. Sometimes it appears broken, hesitant, and afraid of moving too fast. Sometimes it hides behind logic and practical excuses for a while. Sometimes it chooses waiting over immediate action to avoid mistakes. The person who loves you deeply but stays distant often feels torn every single day inside. They think about you when they wake up and when they fall asleep at night. Your name crosses their mind in quiet moments throughout the day. They replay old conversations in their thoughts. They imagine what could be possible between you. And then fear pulls them back again into caution. This back and forth can be exhausting for them, even if you never see the struggle directly. They may believe they need to fix themselves before they can offer love properly. They may feel they need to be stronger, more stable, or more complete as a person first. They may believe you deserve someone better prepared for a healthy relationship. So they step aside, hoping that distance will protect you and them at the same time from pain. But love that is held back does not disappear completely. It stays alive inside. It grows quietly in its own way. It waits for better conditions. And even in silence, it continues to exist strongly. Even in distance, it remains present and meaningful. Love does not always look like active pursuit or constant contact. Sometimes it looks like restraint, careful waiting, and someone fighting their own fears every day while still holding you tightly in their heart. If you feel this profound connection deeply, it is not your imagination creating false hope, as true emotional bonds exist in energy, thought, and intuition that go far beyond words or visible actions alone.